Okay, this is my audience. So imagine one day you hop on the train or bus, you realize that it is unsanitary, unsafe, and you see many people who don't pay for their fare misuse the system like if it's their own personal hotel. That doesn't really sound attractive, does it? You may not know this, but at the current moment, the LA Metro is booming in investments by opening up new stations and routes all around the city. But unfortunately, this is overshadowed by the crime committed over the years. That actually makes headlines. As someone who works within a transportation agency, I have seen firsthand what occurs when ferry raiders mistreat the system, the countless crimes that I've seen, and hearing about the lives lost due to this. So, public transportation should not be free, but accessible to low-income riders. With fare revenue, agencies should be held accountable for the mishandling of large amounts of money, the importance of maintaining security measures, and understanding the hidden costs of a free system. So I'll explain to you why agencies need to be held accountable with the fare that's coming in, the importance of maintaining security measures, and the importance of low-income programs, and understanding what it actually means to have a free system. So let's start this speech by discussing why fare income is important and how we can hold agencies to be held accountable. Fare income allows the public to understand with the money that's coming in and understanding the mishandling of the large amounts of revenue that's coming in. With fare income, the public can hold agencies accountable for the lack of upgrades when it comes to security measures and basic necessities such as cleanliness. So, according to Mark Joff and Ethan Joshi of California Policy Center, in fiscal year 2023, California transit agencies generated 897 million in fares against an 8.676 billion in operating expenses, when including non-fare revenue and capital costs for maintenance, replacement. The total taxpayer subsidy revenue to break even was $10.31 million. So with this being said, there's no excuse why agencies cannot be held accountable, and by having them have the highest quality of service at all times. Now before I continue, let me show you some pictures and tell you how it actually looks when you guys go into a train station. So you guys have probably experienced this, it's just messy and disorganized, and it just doesn't feel right to be there. And in all reality, this is what we expect. Just a clean, reliable, and just crime-free. But unfortunately, that is not the reality because of the people who do not pay for their fares. Now that we're aware of the massive fare income that comes in, let's discuss one further important foundation, which is increasing security measures. With the keeping of fare revenues, it will maintain and further implement the upgrades when it comes to security. So while activists and city leaders promote the idea of having a free transportation, it's going to attract a lot of people who misuse the system and, unfortunately, be free of consequences. Now, according to Jenny Bergel of American Planning Association, transportation expert Dorothy Moses Schultz suggests that making public transportation free will push away regular riders, and further explains that without fares, some people will misuse the system and use trains as shelters, which is really concerning. So I actually want to explain one notable upgrade here in Los Angeles, which is the tap to exit program. So in order for you to leave the station, you must tap, and if you don't have a card for some reason, they will arrest you by the authorities. So according to Tara Nugent of the LA magazine, the LA tap to exit program was used in motion to prevent fare evasion and deter crime, as security incidents were down 40% between the B line of North Hollywood and Union Station. After the pause, the crime increased 116%. So now that we understand why it's important to have fair, without this, crime would just go up and be a problem for years to come. In addition, how can low-income riders have access to public transportation, and how does it help the cause with reduced social program? So does it actually help with the cause? Now, as we all know, public transportation can be expensive. Here in LA, the fare is $1.75, and in New York MTA, it's actually $3, which can be really expensive for some. Sorry, but according to Martha Isaacs of Enzo Center of Transportation, a project manager of New York Transportation, transit fares can be very expensive, which can be a financial burden for riders experiencing low-income situations, which makes them choose between food or transportation, which affects people of color like Black and Latinx. To solve this, agencies have low-income programs which reinvest back to the system. So finally, is public transportation. So we need to understand what does it mean by free public transportation and who actually pays for it. Free public transportation isn't actually free. There's a lot of hidden costs that many of the public doesn't know about. While the public believes that it is best for social and economic reasons why it should be free, all the costs are shifted to government and us, the taxpayers. Sorry about that. Now, according to a finding in an article by Kowalski, Why Not Abolish Fare? Exploring the Global Geography of Fair Income Public Transport, when a small town in Oregon removed bus fares in 2011, the transit lost over $330,000 from fare income. To make up for this, the city introduced a new fee which households and businesses had to pay, which was up to $1,000 a month. Sorry. And finally, so in other words, free public transportation is not what it seems to be. So with that being said, the evidence shows that low income works in the long run, and the meaning of free transportation isn't what it seems to be. So all this is going to prevent crime from being made. So public transportation should not be free, but affordable to all low-income passengers. With fair revenue we should hold agencies accountable for the lack of investments to maintain security measures, and we now understand what it means of having a free system. So next time you hop on the train or bus and you realize that there's a lot going on, just imagine when it's free. It's simply not going to work. In the long run, we have to have fares for a reason. So I hope you guys learned something new, and thank you for watching. And we're here as my audience.